Just wanted to give you an idea, which is some often things you could do as far as when you want to migrate your content. Now, here's one way you can basically preserve your stuff. What you want to do is download the screen recorder as you see there. You can find it on your local app store or any other app store or whatever. They do have some alternative ones in case they ever decide to take that app down or whatever. Anyway, there's that, and then there's this. VICFUN USB. It's a total of 32 gigabytes. You can find other things like this all over Amazon and whatnot. They're basically for you to be able to store your data, and then whenever you need to upload it, you can basically, if you want to do it either via computer, via laptop, you got the other end to do it, and that's just another way for you to be able to store and keep your content as you get it, so you'll be able to have it on you at all times. Just want to give you a little warning though. This thing does not have a keychain holder, so be mindful of that. Then there's the if you're deciding to go off grid, then there's the generator here. As you can see, this is a portable one. It's perfect for basically just like your everyday needs, basically going out. You don't necessarily have to get this one specifically. They have many other ones as well. But you need if you get something like this, you're definitely gonna want to have a oh wow, that's not the foldable, whatever. Anyway, apparently that's not the image that I wanted. But if you, as you can see there, Rockpal's foldable 60-watt solar panel charger for a socket jacket. I don't know why it's not. It's as in this image, as you can see, it's folded, but basically it folds out, pretty much. And as you already know, the solar power panel basically helps you harness in the energy that you're getting from the sun or whatever, and that's allowing you to power up your electronics when you decide to go out. I will warn you though, if you're bringing anything as far as like a cell phone with you, you need to know that they can track that. If you're bringing any type of device like that with you, understand that they can track that. Okay, just be mindful of that. Not telling nobody to bring a phone, not telling nobody not to bring a phone, just saying that they can track it, just so you're aware. Um, Other than that, that's about all I have to show on this. I only wanted to show this so people will be able to get their content off YouTube, since basically YouTube is you know YouTube is technically, well, oh, I don't know. YouTube is technically owned by Google. So Google is involved with the face recognition technology, and they're working alongside Facebook, which is also doing the same thing, face recognition technology. All of this information is going into a data bank, and it's being sold off to basically track and trace everybody. If people weren't aware, this is something that has been happening for years. People have already started abandoning Facebook after finding out what it's really for. Um, I don't really have any links on me right now per se, but yeah, man. Even people who don't use Facebook, I'm warning you, they have been caught stealing data from people, stealing information from people without their consent, without their knowledge, and they have been drugged to court about this too. They have. Um, Other than that, that's really all I got to show for now. I'll probably leave a link to my BitChute account. I haven't really put much on there because I'm going to be pretty busy both today and tomorrow. But I think I won't really be able to get started until tomorrow. And there's two things I'm going to be building. The first thing I'm going to be building, I've already talked about this before on the other channel, as you all are already aware of. I'm going to be building the anti-nano bucket. I will leave a link in the description for that too, so you'll be able to see what that is. TIs, if you're wondering what the anti-nano bucket does, it extracts this nanotech directly out of your system. It completely cuts it off. It can't reproduce when you do this. It can't regrow when you do this. But at the same time, we're still technically exposed to this stuff, so it doesn't mean it can never come back. As long as you're within the grid, this stuff has the capability of coming back. You need to put yourself off the grid, or at least somewhere that's not, that doesn't have all of these negative ionized frequencies all over the place. You know, you need to be either one or the other when it comes to that. I definitely recommend TIs to basically be in groups when they go out. I mean, sure, you're gonna have infiltrators, but I mean, you're gonna eventually spot those infiltrators at some point. They're gonna be caught. Um, Other than that, remember we are definitely getting somewhat close to October. We only got I don't know, like 3 or 4 months left. I definitely advise people be out of off the grid before like either on or like either within September or before September by then, because you don't want to be here on the grid anywhere near October. You do not. I'm telling you. If you're not aware, basically, as to what I'm getting at, if you there's been information regarding these criminal satanic calendar of which they follow by, and judging from what these bastards have going on, that's when stuff is really gonna amp up, pretty much, and that's what's gonna be the trigger that they want to try to push for forced vaccinations. You need to look at their satanic calendar that they have. That's basically the proof of all you need to basically see what's going on here. Um, Other than that, they already are using even one calling card right now with the rioting and stuff like that. How they're altering the stuff to basically push. And you know something, one thing that actually caught my eye, that I was watching one of the news broadcasts. They saying, "Oh, we're going to be contact tracing these rioters." Dude, you want to know what that means? They're using that as an excuse to contract trace the peacekeepers too. They're gonna say that, well, like how we did, like with people wearing masks and shit, and them getting away. What do you think they're gonna have to do for some of the people they didn't catch? They're gonna suspect that they're within a group of people who are basically trying to keep peace, and they're gonna say, oh well, maybe they're hiding amongst these people, even though they are not aware, right? So they would basically be able to hide. I want people to understand that's one of the things that they're planning on doing. Now, it sucks a lot for a lot of us because of these chemtrails being out there. For me myself, I wear a respirator mask. As I stated before, every time I go outside, I do not go out without one. This is me doing that even before this stupid pandemic thing broke out. Um, and honestly, man, like this situation is just crazy because like you want to be able to warn people, right? You want to be able to just tell them about this, but it's not something easy to just say. It's not so easily said. Now I've watched a bunch of Ti's videos today so far, just a few, not too many, but just a good amount. And from what I understand, a lot of people's attacks have been boosting up, including my own, by the way. Definitely my own has boosted up, but man, I guess I know I wasn't really planning on saying anything about this, but I think like sometime last month or the month before, right? What I did the biggest freaking detox I ever did in my life, right? I used a whole box. I kid you not. I used a whole box of baking soda, and then I used half a box, or damn near all the freaking borax that was in that box, and I did that right. You basically used like half a box of borax, and then basically I went ahead and bathed in that. I got a whole bunch of that biofilm off, and then prior to after that, I used the frequency belt too. Now, actually, no, because the frequency belt wasn't built back then. It wasn't built at that time. So this was before I built the right frequency belt. But something like, dude, I had basically played rife tones to boost the mess out of my frequency to raise it, right? And I did this all in one day, and then I left it going on prior to the next day, and I didn't stop doing it. So around later in the evening of the next day, right? Apparently, I can't even say these were their weapons because like I could tell like they didn't have a connection because they were doing their street theater on the outside, but something very strange happened, right? You don't have to believe me when I tell you this. It's completely up to you. But I'm just basic. I feel like they needed to just say what happened. Um, Literally felt like something was literally descending upon me when this happened, and it handed me a freaking sword. This wasn't something that was happening physically at all. It was very strange. And then I watched Haleman's channel, and then he's saying that Jesus was supposed to descend with a sword or something. I'm like, wait a minute. Like that just, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I don't know what to say about it. But like I've never. A lot of people gotta understand. Like most of us have not really. It wasn't until like we had our own. We started waking up that we started really raising our frequency. So all this time before then, when we were like like asleep, we weren't raising our frequency. We were basically this is why and it feels weird, because like the more I start thinking about it, I'm like, wait a minute. So now we know the Earth is flat, right? Like flat Earth. And with that, if that's the case, right? If that's the case, think about it. Something descended upon me after I raised my frequency. So think about it. Why they're so desperate with lowering your frequency. Think about that for a second. What if, let's say, the Earth really is a flat sphere, right? It's a flat sphere, and hell is actually it's like on the other side of the sphere. You can't see it because you can't go to it because it's technically not going to happen, right? And this is just a theory. I'm not really trying to say these are the facts. I'm just saying this is just a theory. I'm just basically just making conversation at this point. But what if raising your frequency was technically, helping your soul rise to heaven, but lowering your frequency is what basically lowers your soul to hell? I don't know. I really don't know, but it's definitely something to really think about. Honestly, I wasn't even sure if I even wanted to mention anything about that or not, because I just didn't know. I mean, heck, with being a targeted individual, we deal with a whole bunch of mess all the time. Even now, even right now, I'm being hit like crazy. I'm guessing they didn't want that mentioned. I don't know. I really don't know. And I really could care less. But it really, really makes me wonder. Maybe that is the case. Maybe it is that like the more and more you raise your frequency, it brings you closer and closer to heaven. Therefore, closer and closer to God. Because it seems like the more and more lower a person's frequency is, the more rotten they become. And that's like literally, that really is a true fact right there. People who tend to act the most rotten tend to have very low frequency levels. Bruce Lee was one of the people who had the highest rate frequency ever recorded. And it wasn't just him, there were other people too. But their name escapes me for now, so I'm not really certain as to who they are. Anybody who does know, feel free to leave it in the comments. But 2 projects I'm going to be working on. One of them is the stun glove, and then the other one is going to be the nanotech, the anti-nano bucket. Now the third project, you're not going to see that till the end of the month. And if you want to know, if you really must know what that's going to be, it's basically going to be a Thunderblade. Now, many people didn't know that you basically could have thunder going alongside of a sword. It's just something I felt like just to have a project or whatever doing. It's not really meant to be used for any violent or anything like that. Nothing like that at all, man. But just something I was curious in doing, just to see how far my tech stuff could go. Just wanted to see and check it out. And technically, a stun glove actually can be legally used in self-defense. Because technically it's still a taser. It's technically still a taser, and it's non-lethal, you know. But these are things that only should be used in self-defense and no other means, shape, or form. I do not advocate any violence towards anybody in any way, shape, or form, and I am not an advocate or a representative of said violence. This isn't to promote no hate, no type of crime of any way, shape, or form. It's just basically me just throwing out some tips and basically having just a normal, decent conversation with other people who are in the same boat as myself. When I mean, and this is basically not to TIs, but to basically people, who would think otherwise about our situation. Because if you're not aware, they have taken some channels down, some not channels, but videos down on my other channel. Now, I didn't want, as I stated before, I didn't want to put like certain hot topics down on anything on that channel because I knew they would f with it. So I kind of decided to just put the stuff on the side channel since that channel wasn't all that important. Little did I realize that it started to become important, and now they starting to attack it relentlessly because people are seeing what's on there and they don't want them to know about that stuff. They don't want people knowing that that there's poisonous air, toxins in the air, and that people who are working for our government is literally doing this. And they don't want them to know that all the people have to do is just tell them to stop, and it stops. They don't realize that their own ignorance is what the enemy is using to enslave them. They don't realize that, And people who are being paid off don't give two shits about people who are enslaved. They don't. Without realizing that until they, dwindle the ranks and lower the numbers to where it's in more of a controlled space, to where they can just manipulate the situation any way they want and any way they desire. What's going to happen to the people they pay off at that point? Oh, simple. They're going to turn against them. They're going to throw them in line with the same people they are paying to keep enslaved. The devil is truly a sinister, not a sinister, but a sinister being, man. It'll basically corrupt the mind of a truly innocent, nice person, turn him into a monster, make him or her do things they would never normally do. Then as soon as, the questioning starts as to what's this and what's that, well, the person responsible for doing it is gone. Literally just leaves without even paying for the crime that they've done. And they have done this for years, man. They have done this for years, and they're still doing it. They have absolutely no problem with fucking with people like that. Not one bit. The people who are really involved with this, organization know about this, and they okay with it. They don't care that people's minds are being manipulated. They don't care that the same organization that they're working for and protecting. And you see, this really goes deep because, when you start talking, for instance, I'm black, right? I'm not trying to make this as a racial thing, but to use this as a definition, right? You know how these rappers will be calling certain females bitches, hoes, and all that stuff, right? If you were to go and ask them, I see that you're an advocator of this language, right? So you're saying this to a female, and here's the thing: people don't get it in your head that MGTOWs are like this. We're not. We love women, but we call them out on their shit when they act like it, not out of spite. Never out of spite. Only when they act like it. Okay? That same shit goes for guys too. We only call people certain things when they act it out and when they are basically are labeling themselves. No MGTOW is there to label nobody. Period. We just there to basically go our own way, live our own life, and that's just it. That's just it. Nothing more, nothing less. But anyway, so I don't get off the subject. If you were to ask a rapper, would you be okay if someone was to call your daughter the same stuff that you are calling these other females that when she gets older? They would naturally get pissed off, right? So So it's crazy because they're going like, no, you can go. It's fine to call just about anybody else, any other female that, but you ain't calling my family that. And it's like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Technically, that female is somebody else's daughter. So what the hell is the difference? Truth is, there is none. The only thing is that they're playing favorites. And they is like they're saying so it's basically they have it in their head to where it's okay to call a female a bitch, right? But it's not okay for someone to call their female family members a bitch. And I don't support people calling anybody any kind of names, man. I don't, unless they are acting like it, you know. But that's basically it, you know. That's basically it. It's like the big. I guess the best term that term to basically use for a situation like this is a hypocrite. You know, basically it's hypocrisy. It's basically it's the biggest line of hypocrites you can ever know. Biggest line of hypocrisy, man. So it's like they'll be okay doing this crap to someone else, this gang stalking, this character defamation, this getting people to lose jobs and shit like this. They'll be okay to do this to other people without realizing that the same organization they're working for could very well turn against their daughter, their son, their grandchildren. So I hope people understand what I'm getting at here. So technically, if you think a gang stalker cares about their kids, they don't. Think they give a fuck about their grandkids? No, they don't. They don't care. Because why in the hell would you support an organization that could very well target them in the nearby future? So basically, whatever torment they would end up enduring, based off that organization, their own damn family member played a part in that happening due to them being associated with that organization. But of course, even without that, people are still being experimented on, even today. You know? These chemtrails and stuff like that, the programming that they put through your television screen, the programming that they put through your music, the brainwashing tactics they have through peer pressure, and so on and so forth, man. All of that shit, especially with the misinformation they put out, all of it is a means to program you. People who are unprogrammable, they go the extra mile to fuck with you. I believe damn near all TIs have broken out of the matrix at some point in time, even if we weren't even conscious of it. Or either that, or we have the highest chance of breaking free from the matrix. You know. Hence, why I say all TIs are warriors, not victims. We're so fucking strong. They got to use a weapon just to weaken us, man. They got to use a damn weapon just to weaken us. And it's crazy. Just to get their views across. They got to get an opinion from a complete stranger off the side just to try to prove a point. They can never just prove a point with face facts. You want to know why they can't face facts? Because it's a lie to begin with. The bullshit was already a lie. It was built up off a lie, and it's always going to forever be a lie. But they have no empathy. They have no shame. They have no remorse, man. And of course they don't, because, well, the people who are like this were programmed to be that way. So when I go out, I may be a target individual, but like as a man, when I go out, and this is basically, even before I realized it was a TI, I don't just randomly go for any female that approaches me. In fact, I started to realize something that they tried. I realized that they tried honeypotting me on like several occasions, like damn near 6 or 5 times. And I'm like, as soon as I started to realize what it was, I'm like, wait a minute. Let me check that this thing's still going. Okay, good. I only got like 15%. It's all right. I might be done soon. But I started to realize that they tried honeypotting me. I'm like, I'm too smart for that. Man, they went as far as having a woman in front of the camera. She did this in front of the camera. She intentionally bent her ass like literally no more than like what, like 12 to like 15 inches away from me. And I'm saying inches because that's how far she was. She was very close doing that crap. She went far away. I did the natural thing to do, and I backed away, and I just turned over to the other side. Not that I'm not attracted to females, but when it comes to professionalism, you can't fall into those kinds of traps. You can't fall for stuff like that. It wouldn't be the first time they had like 3 to 4 females ask me, "Do I need a ride home or whatever in their car?" I'm like, "Wait a minute." Now, with me being a MGTOW, of course, I'm gonna say no, and in fact, I did say no several times, only to realize that that shit was a freaking setup. Man, that crap was a setup. Let me tell you something. They had another female who was doing the same stuff too, and she literally freaked me out because, during that time I was catching a bus. So she ends up telling me, "Oh, I saw you over there by the mall and whatnot." She tells me this to my face. And I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, what the hell? Is she stalking me or something?" Because I didn't know how to react to that. Because I'm like, wait a minute. It, you know how people get when they get like way too friendly to where it comes off as suspicious? Basically, her behavior was somewhat like that, It was definitely somewhat like that. And this was on the first day she got there. So I think, in fact, I believe they intentionally hired her to go there to basically try to get me out of there. And this wouldn't be the first time they tried some stuff like that. They did this on several different occasions until they tried that shit with a woman who actually did like me. And when they found out that she did, I didn't see her again after that shit. I didn't see her again after that. I never once fraternized with any of the females that went to my last job. I never did, and I never will fraternize with females or anybody for that matter at a professional work environment place, because that's just not me to do that there. I mean, if I want to go fraternize with a female, I could wait after work and go somewhere else and do it either on my day off or just after work, you know? And the thing is, you can't even do that. You can't, because first off, so many people have been brainwashed that you would think that you're getting to know the real person. Oh no, you're getting to know a complete stranger. That person's hiding behind a fucking mask. People have been brainwashed, man. That's what that is. You ever notice how like you would date somebody, right, for a while, and all of a sudden they just their behavior just does a complete 360 out of nowhere. Things were cool the first few days you first met, but things went to complete shit afterwards. Yeah, man. Anybody who got married like several years ago, I say like around, before like around the year 2000 to to the year 1990s and even before then and on, so they are the most lucky mofos on the planet, because anywhere after the year 21st century, man, that's when things went downhill, because that's when that subjective programming shit started. Through all that technology they put out, that's when all that stuff started. So when that happened, maybe there were some who worked it out during even amongst all this chaos, maybe. But with all of this stuff happening, man, it's crazy. Like, you see people getting in relationships, breaking up, and it's just like, something. I can't do that shit, man. I can't do that. No, like constantly breaking up just to find somebody just to break up with again. Are you serious? No. If that's the case, if that's the social standard is for today's relationships, I would be damn glad to remain single. Seriously, because that's just sad, and that's just nah, man. Mm-mm. And I'm not saying it's not possible to find a female counterpart out there for us guys. I'm not saying that ladies. I'm not saying it's impossible for you to find a male counterpart for you either. I'm not saying that's impossible. I'm just saying there's just too much corruption to where it's very difficult to do. And even if you try, you gotta understand, like, you're gonna be going through a lot of bullshit trying. A lot. And that ain't for no man, that ain't for no woman, that's for both. Anyway, I think I pretty much said more than enough on this vid. So, yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. Stay safe, stay strong, everybody.